Puppies do some disgusting things, but I'm pretty sure eating their own poop ranks up there at the top. I also think a dog that eats cat poop comes in a close second, don't you think? I mean, what could they possibly enjoy about eating that stinky stuff? Well, we don't always know what they're thinking, but we can do a few things to change a behavior so it fits into our human world. Now, if you're working on this issue with your puppy, just know you're not alone. In this video, we are going to cover how to prevent your dog from eating their own poop, as well as what to do if your pup can't get enough of the kitty litter too. Did you know that 1 in 4 dogs have done this at least once, and 1 out of 6 dogs make it a regular habit? This is actually an issue that is important to work on. Eating their own feces is pretty gross, but it's not likely going to create any medical issues unless they already have parasites. Eating another animal's feces could actually expose your dog to contagious diseases like parvo, as well as bacteria and internal parasites that can cause illnesses. It's especially important for your pup to avoid eating other animals' feces before vaccinations are complete. That's not to say that you can't take your dog out for potty breaks and positive exposure sessions before vaccinations are complete. Don't make that mistake and raise your dog to be timid and uncertain of new things because you didn't take them out of your home for the first 16 weeks of their life. You can learn more safe potty training techniques for outside before vaccinations in this great video. I have 3 dogs, so there could be plenty of opportunities for them to eat their own or each other's poo if I didn't work on it. So here's how I've worked on it and how you can work on it too. First, I want you to understand that eating poo is rewarding for your dog. You and I think it's gross, but this stuff is actually interesting and very tasty for your dog. So every time he gets to eat his own or another animal's poop, this is becoming a strong habit. Whenever we're working on unwanted behaviors, the first thing we need to do is take steps to prevent it so it doesn't become a stronger habit. This concept works with things like jumping, counter surfing, biting the kids, and so much more. Prevent and then train. So the first thing we'll do is to prevent your dog from getting to the poo. This is going to fall on you, the human, to make this happen. When first working on this, you might need 2 humans. All right, here are some ways to prevent your dog from eating their own poo. Number 1, use an outdoor puppy pen for potty breaks, which restrict your dog's freedom and teach him to use a specific area for potty. I recommend a gate like this one. I'll put a link to it below. It does work well outside and it can easily move around. Now, when it's time for a potty break, I want you to take your pup outside on a leash and guide him gently and positively into the pen. Now, some dogs need a little movement to get their system moving, so you might need to walk him around just a little bit. When you do start to see his potty signals, guide him into the pen. And as soon as he poops, lure him out of the pen quickly and then close the gate so he can't re-enter. Now he doesn't have access to it, and you can go back in later to clean up the poo before the next potty break. If you're not sure how to get him to come out of the pen quickly, my next tip's gonna help you. Oh wait, before I get to that, you can also move the pen panel in a way that blocks off access to the poo while your pup is still in the pen. All right, number 2, you might have to use your body language to excitedly draw your pup away from the poo that he just did. Now, a good way to do that is to drop your body posture, pat the top of your legs, and shuffle backwards while you're facing your dog. This is usually exciting enough for your dog to follow you, but get even more silly if you have to. Number 3, now if you're having a hard time managing the leash and the poo bag and maybe an umbrella and trying to draw your puppy away, consider making potty breaks a family affair. Take a kid or a partner out with you and use either the other person to draw the puppy away, or you can do the exciting activity and then the other person can quickly pick up the poo. Number 4, right after the poo, you reward your dog with a treat. This teaches him that good things happen when he goes potty outside, which is one of the 4 fundamentals of potty training. Now, I do go over all 4 fundamentals and teach you a fun training game in our free digital resource called the New Puppy Starter Kit. The training game I teach you is called the Puppy Pivot. It could also help you with this poo eating issue too. Remember, it's free for you to check out in the link below the video. If you're consistently rewarding your puppy after going potty outside, he's going to grow to expect it. And then that keeps his attention on you instead of that poo. Consider increasing the value of your reward to something super tasty and draw your pup away from the poo when you offer the reward. You'll quickly need to engage him in another exciting activity or remove the poo so he doesn't go back to it. Number 5, another way to keep your pup from eating his own poo is by tossing some high value treats into the grass for your pup to snuffle and find. Toss the treats far enough away from the poo that he can't get back to it. Now, while he's busy doing that, you can go pick up the poo. Puppies have very short attention spans, so we can use that in our favor by creating excitement or value away from the poo. With time, he's going to forget about the poop and and it's gonna cease to become a habit. Number 6, you can use one of the fun training games from our program to draw your dog's attention away from the poo. You could use the puppy pivot game that I mentioned, or the focus or the name game, the bump it game, or even a skill that you've been practicing from our Leash skills course. Now, any of the games that your dog is good at will work to capture his attention and give you a moment to pick up that poop. Now, if you aren't using a leash for potty breaks yet, I encourage you to start. If you've been working on training games with your pup on a leash, when you use a leash for potty breaks, this means it's gonna automatically be more focused on you because that's his pattern when the leash is on. Now, another tip to keep your dog from eating poop is to teach a leave it cue. The training game to teach this skill is in my online training program as well. This takes time and lots of training for your dog to do outside and also with something as delightful as poop. So while working up to the proficient level of leave it outside, use the prevention methods I mentioned. Now, if your dog gets to practice a bad habit while you're trying to train him not to, your training will not be successful. That works with all sorts of unwanted behaviors like counter surfing, biting, jumping, barking, and so much more. If you need help with unwanted behaviors, especially if your puppy doesn't seem to be listening to you, this video will guide you. There's probably a million other ways to grab your dog's attention and prevent him from getting to the poo. You know your dog best, so pick the food or activity or toy that he loves in order to distract him away from the poo. You'll probably have to try multiple methods before you land on one that works for your dog. Remember, your number one goal is to not let him get to the poop. Once your dog breaks the habit of eating it, you're gonna find he loses interest in it, and you won't have to work so hard to distract him. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is your own subtle body language. The more you draw attention to something, the more your puppy will get excited about it. So don't draw attention to him eating the poo if your prevention methods slip through the cracks. Calmly remove him from the situation if you can, or guide him to a different activity. The more you make it a big deal and perhaps go running toward him yelling, "Fido, stop eating the poop!" the more likely he's gonna chomp it down faster. Now, you might have done some research on this topic on the internet. Maybe that research led you here. So on this channel, we focus on all things related to positive puppy training. Unfortunately, there is some pretty bad advice out there that isn't so positive and it doesn't really teach your dog what to do instead. I'm gonna go over those with you now. Here's a few things on what not to do. Number 1, don't try to doctor up your puppy's food to make the poo less palatable. I mean, have you seen what puppies eat? They'll eat just about anything. We can't possibly decide what a puppy finds tasty and what is not. Sometimes the additives in the food does nothing to deter the puppy. Sometimes it actually makes the poop more interesting. Just like with bitter sprays some people try to use for reducing chewing, this is not a long-term strategy, and often we see the dog ignore the smell or taste of the additive and just keep chomping away. With every single chomp, he's being rewarded for the behavior, and it's going to grow stronger. That's why we put all of our effort into preventing it from happening. We do that with chewing as well. Number 2, do not use the leash to physically pull your puppy away. Never pop on the leash either. This could create a negative association with the leash and make your walks more problematic. The leash is there for safety, in case your pup goes running after something interesting. It's not a steering wheel. Think of it more like a seatbelt. It's there when you really need it, but it should not be something you use to direct or steer your puppy. I know you're here to learn about how to stop your dog from eating poop, but if you're finding the leash problematic and not making a lot of progress teaching your dog to walk on it, I have a good video for you to watch next. This will get you started on the basics of addressing pulling, and then you can check out the online training program for the games to teach good leash skills. Now, we can't spend all this time talking about poo and not address cat poo. Unfortunately, cat poo is a real delicacy to a dog. Most dogs can't resist it. The strategy here is the same. Prevent the dog from having access to it. This will be a lifetime arrangement, so find a litter box arrangement that works well for you, your puppy, and your cat. And even after you teach your dog to leave it, it's not realistic for your puppy to leave cat poo if it's available and you're out of sight. Your cat's food is going to be the same, so put it out of reach of your puppy too. Thankfully, most cats can easily get higher than most puppies or squeeze through smaller spaces to access their food. So you might need to put these items behind a baby gate or in a room that has a small cat door that only kitty can access. One final note. medical issues. If your pup seems to be obsessed with consuming poo, check with your vet to make sure he's getting all his dietary needs met. If your dog suddenly starts eating poop when they hadn't before, or if it's accompanied with symptoms such as lethargy, weight loss, vomiting, diarrhea, or other changes in behavior, that's also a good time to call for a vet visit. All right, this is Michele Lennon and the How to Train a Dream Dog team, signing off for today. See you in the next video.